Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a different one. I wanted just to sit down and have a chat with you guys about something. I asked out on my Instagram whether you guys would like me to talk about personal training or whether you would like me to talk about bulking, and it was like a 50-50 split, so probably going to do both. But today I wanted to sit down and talk about personal training. If you didn't know already, I am a personal trainer. I am pretty new to the industry in the grand scheme of things. I've only actually had my qualification for about 6 months. I get a hell of a lot of questions on Instagram about personal training, where I did my qualification, why I did it, like loads and loads of different questions about it. So I'm just going to sit down, address all of it, the advantages, disadvantages, the money, different types, how to get into personal training, and all that sort of good stuff in this video. So if you're interested in personal training, how to become a personal trainer, why to become a personal trainer, and why not to become a personal trainer, this is the video for you. How did I know I wanted to become a personal trainer? I knew I wanted to do something within the fitness industry. At this point in time, I'd made my Instagram and I was sort of exposed to the fitness industry as such. I used to train at a gym up in Telford in Shropshire called Simply Gym, and there was a personal trainer there called Paddy, and he is the kind of one that kicked my ass into gear. So I was speaking with him and he was like, well, what are you going to do? Like, what's your plan? And then I was just kind of there like, shit, yeah, what is my plan? Like, I don't really have one. And I said to him, I'd really like to get into personal training, but I just don't know much about it. I don't know much about the money side or what I'll need. And he kind of pushed me in the right direction and got me started on a course. So I did my course in, I think it was like a 10-week course. It was a really quick one, and I didn't have to like quit my job or anything. I just went there at the weekend, so I'd work Monday to Friday, and then I would go to this personal training course, about half an hour's drive, so an hour both ways, every Saturday and every Sunday. There was lots of other people on my course. If I am correct, I think I did mine with somewhere called Focus Fitness. They're like a big chain. And the awarding body was Active IQ. People always ask, oh, I don't know where to start with personal training, certificates and companies, which one's best, which one's not best. To be honest, guys, it doesn't actually really matter like where you do your qualification with or who you do your qualification with. When you are applying for jobs as a personal trainer, I genuinely don't think that they tend to really care where you got your personal training certificate from. I know for a fact the gym I work at didn't even like take a double look at where I got my personal training certificate from. As long as I was qualified as a level 2 or level 3 for personal training, they didn't really give a shit. So Active IQ is a good one, and I'm pretty sure there's another one. If I can remember it by the time I edit this video, I will leave it down the bottom. But yeah, Active IQ is a good one. So what does personal training, getting your certificate, what does it entail? So there is, I did mine a level 2 and a level 3. So I think like 4 weeks was level 2 and then like 6 weeks was level 3. So they all kind of run on the same basis. So they've got a, wow, testing my knowledge now, I can't even remember. I'm pretty sure there's like a practical and then there's like a theory. For level 2 you have a practical, and then you have 2 theories. One's for A&P and one is like the practical side of personal training. So it would be like about people's goals, how to run a session, how to plan a session, and then it's the exact same for level 3. So there's another practical for level 3, focus, another practical for level 3, and another 2 theories for level 3. So the hardest part is the A&P. For me anyway, that's what I really struggled with. The rest of it's kind of just like common sense. Like if you have some sort of fitness knowledge, some sort of gym knowledge, you kind of know what you're talking about. Just make sure that when you go into your course, you do know about sets and reps and like what muscle works, what machine works, what muscle and stuff, because don't be that idiot that when we get into the gym with all the other people that you're on the course with, and then somebody turns around and goes, oh yeah, what muscle are we working here, and you don't even know. Like, that genuinely happened on my course, and I thought to myself, shit, these people are going to be personal trainers in like 8 weeks and they don't even know like what bicep curl actually works. So make sure you are in the knowledge before you go, and then you'll fly past the practical, fly past the practical side of the theory. That doesn't make any sense. But then for me, unless you're really smart and you know like a lot about chemistry, is it even chemistry? I fuck know about the body. So you have to like know about like all of the bones, all of the muscles, the heart, nervous system, central nervous system, all sorts of things. Like there's lots and lots of different like modules as such, lots of new words to learn, lots of things to learn. I personally could not recommend enough parallel coaching. They're on YouTube. They've got a couple of videos for free on YouTube. Sorry. They have a couple of videos on YouTube for free, but you can actually buy their revision guide, which is what I found so helpful with my A&P. So it gave you modules, and it just sort of like gave you a video for every single module. It taught me like the whole A&P, and therefore I passed my level 2 and my level 3 first time. Practical's easy. On the first one, you just have to like run a PT session basically, for your level 2 and your level 3. So you just sort of have to like plan a session. It's like really formal, and like it doesn't feel right. So when you're doing it, you have to be like, hi, this is the fire exit, this is the treadmill, it works your cardiovascular. But obviously when you're out in the real world doing a personal training session, it won't feel like that. So just be aware that the practical is very professional and very stick to this rule. You have to say this, you have to explain it, you have to demonstrate it. Obviously you would demonstrate on an actual PT session if someone was new, but do you know what I mean? Like it's very structured, and you need to stick to what you have to do. What else I want to talk about with the personal training certificate? So the price, they vary. Just bear in mind it costs a lot of money to become a personal trainer. To get that piece of paper, it's going to cost you a couple of £1,000. So make sure you have enough money, or look for loans and stuff. There is definitely loans available where you can, it's like a student loan as such, so you can borrow the money to do the personal training course. Sorry, I'm just looking down here because I wrote notes because I am so prepared. Okay, so got my personal training certificate. What's next? So for me, I quit my job. I decided that if I wanted to put my heart and soul into becoming a personal trainer, I couldn't half-heartedly do it. I think this is so important. If you are wanting to qualify as a personal trainer, you need to be prepared that you will, when you first start out, you will not have much money, you will have no job, you will just be coming into the fitness industry, so therefore you won't have any clients, money, nothing. I sacked off my job, I made sure I had enough money to get me by, and I just sort of put it all out into the open and went, right, I'm gonna give it my all. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but at least I can say that I gave it my all. So started off my job. I personally thought to begin with, I was like, I'm not going to work in a gym because like it's not worth it. I'm going to try and like survive on my own, with my own business, and I'll just make money that way. Realistically, didn't really work out for me. It did and it didn't. So I got all my marketing together, got my business, got my logo, got my business cards, and then I decided that I was going to do some classes, some evening classes and stuff in my local town. Did all the marketing, went around, put all the flyers up, paid the Facebook promotion price, blah blah blah. It was good, the response was good, don't get me wrong. By the time it'd been up and running for a few weeks, I did have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people turn up, but my first session nobody turned up. Obviously you also have to be aware that you have to, for a class, if you are running a class or an evening class, be aware of the rent price for the actual place. So mine was like a tenner, or maybe it was £12. So every time I used that space, I still had to pay the person's space who it was 12 or however many pounds. So even if nobody turned up, it would still cost me £12 to do it. Also be aware that you will need to buy equipment. So I had to pay out a couple of hundred. I think I've spent about £400 on equipment, £300 on a decent sound system. So all of that cost me money. Again, you need to make sure that you're getting your money back from that. So for the first session of mine, like my first class, nobody turned up. I'm pretty sure nobody turned up, or maybe the second one no one turned up, and I was heartbroken. But you need to just be aware that these things take time. If I had continued to work down in my local town where I was living before, I would have just kept going what I was doing. You have to grow your name, you have to grow your business. You can't just expect to turn up, open the door, and 1,000 people walk in, because realistically nobody knows who you are. You've just started out your business, nobody has any reviews, and you are just somebody basically. So make sure that you take that into account, that to begin with, no one's going to know who you are. Business is a little bit slow to pick up, especially if you're working for yourself. Right, let's move on to working for a gym. Right, so there is options when you're working for a gym. Either you can pay rent to the gym, so some gyms will charge you, I think the average is about £450 a month. So I would say to the gym, look, there's my £450, I'm just going to work my business out of your gym. So I'll just go in, train my clients, and my clients will pay me, but then I pay the gym £450, which you have to bear in mind, that gym still will want £450 even if you've had no clients that month, so just bear that in mind. Another option is self-employed. Sorry, that one would be self-employed. Another option is working for the gym. So this is what I've got, the agreement I've got with the gym I'm working for at the moment. I do 12 hours rent for them. So I go in, I work for the club, do cleaning, do tours, do computer work for 12 hours a week, and I run classes. And I don't get paid for it, but I can run my business out of that gym. So my clients will come, do their session, and pay me. The gym that I'm working for, that I do the 12 hours for, they don't see a penny of that money. So I do 12 hours for free in return for my gym rent. Another option is commission. So some gyms will pay you like a hourly rate, and then when you've got PT sessions, so when you're personal training somebody, say the gym charges £30 an hour, you would take 20, the gym would take 10, so a certain commission for the session that you're running. So you would just have to agree that with your gym. Obviously all gyms are going to be different on that respect. That's the gym. If you, the way I'm speaking in this video is mainly going to be about like working for a gym, being like self-employed as such, or freelance as some people like to call it. That's kind of how I'm going to be talking about in this video, and it's probably the most popular and the most, what's the word? It's the most common. So picking up clients. When I first started out at the job I'm working at now, I obviously didn't have any clients to begin with, so I agreed to do that 12 hours of work, but I was in that gym 6 days a week. I was there 8 AM until 9 PM every single day. You've got to realise that this is so important. You can't just rock up at that gym for your 12 hours a week when you first start out, because nobody's going to know who you are. Think about that percentage of people that are there for that 12 hours compared to that percentage of people that are there all the time. So no one's going to know you. You need to get your face in that gym. You need to be walking around. You need to be talking to people. It's a hard one because obviously you don't want to look pushy, and you don't want to look like you're just there to speak to people because you want their money. It's a really hard balance to get, but I just made sure that when I first started out personal training in my gym, I was there, like I said, 6 days a week. I was chatting to people, doing tours, cleaning the equipment, and just trying to start conversations with people that I could see that may be my kind of client base. So a good one for me would be introducing myself, because obviously I'm new to that gym. Then people that are exercising in that gym, they've been there for like, some of them have been there for months, some of them might have been there for years. So you're new, they're part of the furniture, so you've got to give them a little bit of respect. I kind of just used to like introduce myself and say like, hi, do you come here much? Because obviously I'm quite new, and I'm a new personal trainer here, so I'm just getting to know everybody. And then that's when you can kind of like talk about their goals, and then you just slip in the offer of personal training. You just mention your services, and that's kind of how it rolls from there. Yeah, like I said, try and get onto those new people that are coming into your gym, so new members, try and latch onto them. That sounds really bad, but do, because then when they're coming into that gym, you're not a new personal trainer as such, you're just a personal trainer that's there, so they don't know any better, they don't know any different. So try and get onto the new people if possible. But like I said, find your way around the gym, get into the field. You'll kind of realise who is there a lot, as in like member wise, and who's there's not as much, and then you can just go from there. But just be aware that you will have to do a lot of I call it grafting, and you will have to put in a lot of time to begin with, because essentially you're not making any money until you've got clients. So I was driving to my work 6 days a week, like I said, but it was a 90-mile round trip. So I was doing all of this for free week after week until I got myself a nice client base. So essentially I was leaving the house in the morning, coming back and not have earned a penny. If anything, I would have spent money with petrol and lunch and stuff, but I was getting my name out in the club, talking to people and that sort of thing. So marketing, really important. Make sure that you have got yourself a logo and a brand. People really like that. Really spend some time on working on your brand, what you offer. So for me, I've got like my little, I might be able to insert like a photo or something. I've got like my little Fit Strong brand, a logo, I've got a caption. It's definitely not called a caption, it's called like a slogan. So I had business cards printed, leaflets printed, sat down, wrote a few documents out. So I wrote out some consultation forms, so for when I got clients. Insurance, make sure that you get insurance to cover yourself. That's quite expensive, so be aware. You can either pay it monthly or you can just pay for the whole year up front. First aid, also be aware that even though you've now got your personal training certificate, some gyms may want you to have your first aid, or they may want you to have a certain extra qualification that you might not have. So just be aware that you may have to spend a little bit more money, and you might have to go on a few more courses to be able to work in a gym. Once you've got your qualification, once you've got yourself somewhere to work, you're getting yourself some clients. So you are now like, shit, obviously I'm not going to lie to you, like my personal training course, this might just be in general, you don't actually learn very much at all. You learn the basics. I mean, I would say most personal trainers would probably agree with me. You don't actually learn anything on your course, you just learn it through experience, through being a personal trainer. That's where you learn the most. You don't go on a 10-week course and suddenly a fucking genius at exercise and a genius at personal training and how to deal with people. You sort of learn that along the way. So obviously once you've got your first client, you're like, shit, this person's paying me quite a bit of money and they're putting their trust in my hands to basically train them. So where do you start? I personally like to offer a free consultation. So hopefully my gym doesn't, but most gyms should have like a consultation room or somewhere that you can take new clients, sit down with them, find out about them. You want to get a nice form done, like print out a nice form, age, name, contact details, previous experience, previous gym experience, previous experience with a personal trainer. Then you want to find out their long-term, their short-term goals, both for nutrition and for training, injuries, nutrition, what they want from you. I also learned doing that from experience. Make sure you actually write on that consultation form what they want, because I was selling programs, I was selling personal training, and to begin with I was getting overwhelmed. I was looking at the sheet and going, shit, who is that? Like, what do they want from me? So make sure you write on the form that you know what they want. Have a diary. So once I've had my consultation with somebody and they're happy, I will tell them prices, really important, don't forget that. Explain that they need to pay for them up front. explain the cancellation period. So if somebody cancels within 24 hours, they still have to pay. That's my cancellation policy. It just means that people can't fuck you around, and like obviously they can't just cancel last minute. Once you've done that, book in your first session with your client, have a diary, make sure you write it down, and then obviously on their first session you want to make it kind of like an evaluation session. Obviously you've learnt about them in their consultation, but now you want to know a little bit more about them, and their mobility, their balance, how they work in a gym. So just kind of do like a full body workout with them. Yes, also take their measurements. That's with like a tape measure. Weigh them if they like that, if they want to do that, depending on their goals. And then you have sort of like start figures. Also make sure they take a photo of themselves. So important, just because you can use that in the future as before and afters. Probably one of the best marketing tools for a personal trainer is before and after photos, so make sure your clients are taking photos. Then keeping business. So now I am comfortably, I've got a nice comfortable client base. I'm well known within my gym. I've got lots and lots of hours. I say lots, not as much as I could, but I'm working on it. I've got comfortable hours of personal training per week. So keeping business, how are we going to keep ourselves going? Because obviously you'd like to think most of your clients will stay with you for a long period of time, but that's not always the case. So you need to make sure you're marketing yourself, make sure you're still making flyers, still putting up business cards. Also use the fact that you've got clients that are enjoying your service as a marketing tool as well. So ask them if they've got any friends that might be interested in personal training. If you're a good personal trainer, they will hopefully just recommend their friends anyway. I've had a few clients now that have come to me through their friend who I'm already personal training, so that's nice. You'll just find that as you grow as a personal trainer, people will start coming to you rather than you having to find your clients. They will find you. So that's a little bit about how I became a personal trainer and how I went from having just my certificate to having a client base. Obviously I know this video is probably going to be a little bit long anyway, but now I just want to go through some advantages and some... Okay, so I just had to like basically take my camera off of the stand and like charge it because it ran out of battery. Probably trying to tell me that I'm talking for too long, but sorry if it's changed a little bit. I'm kind of hoping it hasn't changed that much, apart from the fact that I probably look even more rough than I did before. So like I said, I'm hoping this is going to link in quite well. So yeah, I'm just going to go through advantages and disadvantages of personal training, because I think that there's a very common misconception that personal training is like, basically if you are fitness and you go to the gym, then you have to become a personal trainer. Or as soon as somebody goes to the gym for like 3 weeks, they suddenly decide that they should be a personal trainer, and they're going to give up their whole job and their whole career, and that's what they're going to do. When realistically, it's not that easy and it's not that simple, and I definitely learned that the hard way. I mean, I would like to think that I am somebody who is good at personal training. It's really important to remember that to be a personal trainer, you are your business. Like, your image, your physique, the way you are, the way you speak, the way you do everything, that's your business. You are selling yourself at the end of the day. So it's so important that you're a nice person, or at least pretend to be a nice person, and that you're likable, that people get on with you, that people can trust you, and they understand you. So yeah, it's really important that you are fit for the job before you start. I'm gonna look at my piece of paper. Advantages is good pay, I'm not gonna lie. The hourly rate starts from about 25 and goes up to ridiculous amounts of money depending on where you're based and depending on your experience and stuff. So you're earning good money per hour, I'm not gonna lie. That is definitely one of the good points of being a personal trainer. Obviously you're self-employed, so you kind of work for yourself. You don't have anyone looking down at you telling you what to do. You don't have set hours as such. You kind of can work when you want to work within reason. Obviously you want to kind of judge this around your clients. You want to be the most accommodating you can for your clients, but at the end of the day you are working for yourself, so you can work when you want. You get, if you're passionate, if you're truly passionate about changing people's lives and helping people on their fitness journey achieve good things and improve on themselves, and if you genuinely have like a love for seeing somebody improve, I honestly do. Like, I wasn't sure to begin with. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna fucking bullshit you guys. I wasn't sure it's what I wanted to do, but now that I've been doing it, now that I've got clients who I've seen such a big change on, and they're really happy with the service, and they've achieving things that they didn't think they could ever achieve, it's the most incredible experience. Being able to share that success with somebody is like so rewarding. So that's definitely an advantage to the job. Obviously you're helping people improve their lives, so that's just incredible. It's a really good point, is that you're working for yourself towards your own goals. You're not working for somebody else towards their goals. You see what I mean? So just being self-employed is the best feeling ever. Disadvantages. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that personal training is the best job in the world, because it's not. There is a lot of disadvantages. It's not a lot. I mean, I would say the advantages outweigh the disadvantages, obviously, because else I wouldn't still be doing what I'm doing. But there's definitely a reality to personal training that not everybody realises, especially if you're self-employed. So a regular pay is one of the biggest things. So you don't actually have like a wage slip. You aren't guaranteed a certain amount of money each week or a certain amount of money each month, because you are essentially relying on your clients to pay you. So some clients will want to pay as they go. They'll want to pay each week, they'll want to pay for their session. That way they're not tied down to you. So they could like do like a couple of weeks with you, and then the next week they could just never ever reply, or they could just decide that they don't want to do any more sessions with you, and that's 30-40 pounds an hour gone like that. See you later, you've lost it. So the same with people who buy bundles and packages. So one of the things I offer, and lots of personal trainers offer, is like a bulk. So they buy 8 or 6 or 12 sessions in one, and it's a couple of £100 or however much, and then they use those sessions. So that person's going to give you like a fair sum of money to begin with, but that's got to last you for those 6 to 8 or 12 weeks, and just be aware that they're not going to pay you again for that amount of time. So you've got to learn money management. Another thing is that people will just stop having sessions with you. You're not guaranteed that money every single week. Some weeks people go on holiday, or they go away for a couple of weeks, which means that they won't train with you for 2-3 weeks, and that's 2 or 3 weeks that you're not going to get paid. And if you've got a couple of clients, so say for example, this is not my figures, I've got 20 clients and they pay me £30 an hour, but one week one of my clients who has 2 sessions a week is on holiday. Another client is busy, so she can't do it. That's 4 hours that week that I've lost, just gone like that. So that's 30, 60, 90, £120 just gone like that. So you're not going to earn that money that week, and there's nothing you can do about it. So just bear that in mind, that the money is very, very risky. You're not guaranteed any money. So I will go a couple of weeks without being paid a single penny. Like, not one of my clients will pay me because they're not due to pay me, do you know what I mean? So they've already paid for their sessions. So I'll go a couple of weeks without being paid anything. Then some weeks people will buy multiple packages and I'll have a load of money. So you just need to be aware, especially if you're renting somewhere or there's bills that you're paying each month, car insurance, phone insurance, whatever, contracts, you need to make sure that you have enough money for those. That kind of leads me on to ins and outs and money management, and making sure that you've got everything that you are paid and everything that you are paying on file. This is something that I completely fucked to begin with. So I wasn't keeping track of what I was spending and what people were paying me. Camera cut out again. Love you, camera. What else? Yeah, also just be aware that you will have competition. Even if you're working in a gym with other people who are your team, you will also be in competition with them, even though if you get on with them, like the guys I work with are so sound, and I get on with them really well. But also everybody in your area, all the personal trainers in your area, they're competition. So when somebody's looking for a personal trainer, lots of people will do their research and they will look for the best personal trainer. So you need to make sure you're the best, and you need to believe you're the best personal trainer. I believe I'm the best personal trainer, and I don't even care about that. So yeah, you need to make sure that you are the best of the best, as such. So what else? Oh yeah, another thing I'm just going to touch upon, because I know this video is ridiculously long, is falling out of training yourself and falling out of the love to train for yourself. This was something that I was really worried about. I thought that if I was training other people, I would stop enjoying training my actual self. Fortunately, this hasn't happened for me. The only thing I have suffered with a little bit is program writing. So before I was writing my own program and I really enjoyed tracking my workouts and stuff, but now I find it a little bit tedious just because I do a lot of program writing as well as personal training. So for me, I write programs all the fucking time. So to write my own program, it's sometimes like a bit like, oh, I don't want to write my own program. So what I can suggest on that is just make sure you're not training all your clients the way you train yourself. Obviously, I would hope that people wouldn't do that because everyone's goals are different and stuff, but just make sure you use it as a separate thing. Also, don't train where you work. That's something I learned as well. It's weird training where you work, so make sure you find a separate gym to train yourself in. That way you can just sort of shut off from work, train yourself, and then hopefully you won't fall out of love of training. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here just because my camera battery is flashing because I only charged it for a couple of minutes. I can't be fucked to undo it all again and charge it and put it back in again. So I'm going to wrap this video up here. I really hope this was helpful for some people. I know it was long, and if you're still here, then thank you so much. I really hope this video helped. I just wanted to give you a little bit of reality about personal training and how to set up your business and how to succeed in the industry. They say 6 months, you either make it or you break it. So I'm hopefully, fingers crossed, gonna make it. Just make sure it's the right decision. Don't just follow the crowd, don't be a sheep, and just be aware that it can be tough. Even though it's the best job ever, I don't feel like I work a day in my life. Just be aware that it can be challenging, and it can be hard, but it is worth it. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna sit down and do another chatty video about bulking in this series at some point. So yeah, please give this video a like if you haven't already. Like I said, if you've made it this far, I love you, and I will see you next time.